I'm going to talk to you briefly about the lessons I have learned personally while building my EdTech startup. But those lessons are not only from my EdTech startup, they are from other companies that I've built and sold, that they are existing still, and they are applicable regardless what kind of startup you have. So let's start. Ready to get started? Cool. Now, the first lesson I've learned on how to make decisions. Before building a startups, I was really hesitating on how to make a decision. I was really looking for a person who I can push this responsibility to and say, like, would you advise me which way to go and what to do and how to make a decision? But when you're building a startup, you have to do that. So one of the good examples of that, when I was starting my EdTech startup, Cleverbooks, we started with the mass printing books with augmented reality. And we started with the books with the individual picture of a kid in the book, kind of personalized story. But then I looked around and I thought, I need to do something to use the augmented reality for the better, which could be education. So we have completely structured the whole product, and we have built the EdTech startup based on the augmented reality. So that's one of the decisions that completely changed the strategy of the company and actually developed it in a better way. The next one is leading by example. So when you are in a startup, not everybody wants to join you. And by the way, we've heard about that you need to be really inspired on what you do, and you need to show people how cool it is, your idea, how you can change the world, and if they join you now, and not when you will be able to pay them millions in salary, that definitely they will be a part of that world-changing experience and company. So when you're trying to get the people on board, and it was so difficult for me to find like the people who would be developing the product for the money I could afford to pay at that time. So they would be doing the quality product as well. You need to show people that you're actually able to work for free, which we all do in startups. So by doing something for free and paying others, you're leading by example. By providing people the inspiration of what the future is going to be, what's your vision for that future, and that they are part of that vision and part of the execution team for the future to make the change, you will be leading by example. The next thing I've learned, they need to be the jack of all trades. I found this one the most difficult part, because when you're a startup, you wouldn't have money for many things, and I'm a lifetime learner, and I was trying to figure out how other people would do something they don't know. And everybody was advising, you need to go and hire somebody to do the job you don't like. And I was thinking like, oh, that's cute, I might do that, but if I don't have money, how I can hire somebody to do something I don't want to, like collecting email databases, or maybe building a website, or doing search engine optimization, or maybe creating the marketing campaigns and plans, or sending direct mails to every single person instead of using some MailChimp or something, just to make sure that they are kind of addressing the person directly, personally, and writing the email for everybody separately. You can obviously hire if you have people, but if you don't, you need to understand how the things are working. And being the jack of all trades, building the first website, although I had no technical background, my first education is actually a teacher of English. So I had to learn like back in the days, my first website I built on HTML, then thanks WordPress came and it was a little bit easier. So I learned how to do this. I have studied a lot about how to do the search engine optimization. I have understood how the augmented reality development worked, and it actually helped me to hire the right people to do the job. And at the beginning, by the way, I'm going to give you a tip on how to hire the people for your startup if you don't understand how the software development, for example, works, like it was in my case. I would be asking this same set of questions to different people that would come to the interview, and I would see what similarities are there, and would ask questions that I didn't ask before to a different set of people. And also, I will be asking for a quote for a specific task, technical task. And this way, you will be able to figure out who is actually trying to charge you more, who is trying to, who doesn't know really how to do the job, and so on and so forth. So that was really helpful and really worked for me. The next thing, you have to be a professional speaker. That's a tough one because for me, at the very beginning, it was super difficult to go on the stage in front of 10 people even and speak something. I would be blushed up, I would be completely red, I didn't know what to say. So I think that the best way for you is to train yourself with this. If you're not gonna bring the dream that for which you are building your company to the world, nobody else will. And if you're not gonna be in front of people talking about your idea or something that you want to do to make world a better place, nobody else will. And for me, like here is I'm speaking at TED and one of the TED events, and I remember that was a painful experience for me. The interesting thing that it was the first time I would normally go on the stage and speak without any script. I would have an idea what I want to say, but I prefer to speak from my heart. Because when you're speaking about what you love or what about your idea from your heart, it's perceived so much better. That was the first time in my life I was pushed to write a script. So the whole talk I was focusing on figuring out what I need to say next. Although the feedback I got, that was really a good one and everybody liked and the content was good, but what I discovered and what I learned, and I want to share with you, when you go and speak somewhere, if script is the way for you to go, do that. If you want to speak and if you speak better from your heart, do that from your heart. So choose the way which is better for you to deliver the message you want. Now, practicing self-management. Before I had my own company, I would remember normally all the appointments, meetings, and who I need to talk to, and so on and so forth. But once it starts developing, you have such a massive amount of work, a lot of people to meet, a lot of appointments, a lot of calls. You keep on forgetting things. So I've learned to prioritize a lot. I've learned to prioritize not only for me, but to teach my team to do the same. If, like, for example, some people in sales want to do the easy calls that won't sell, that's a bad priority. So their priority for the sales team is to sell with the bigger ticket. If they are doing a lot of actions which lead to smaller sales, that's not really productive. Also, I've learned to use the calendar, which became my best friend. And I've learned to prioritize tasks myself for me and for the team. Now, how you can do that? Well, first of all, you need to keep positive. You need to keep positive about what you do. You need to believe strongly in your idea, and you need to be persistent. In many cases, when you try to bring your startup out there, you will hear 9 no out of 10. But this one yes that will say yes to your idea and yes to what you do, and would also believe or buy what you're doing, that's something that must inspire you. You will have a lot of bad times, but you will have also good times. You need to keep on being persistent in what you do day to day, and make sure that you are motivating your team as well. So once your team starts to build up, your main job would be not only to motivate yourself, but motivate your team. And sometimes I wake up and I want to give up everything, but I know that I have people now I'm responsible for, and I have to keep on going. So being positive is one of the things that you need to train yourself as well. And that's it.